Hi, everyone, from my review of Luc Besson's Lucy from 2014. As yes, we are back once again, ready to discuss another film. This time around, Lucy, a very interesting film, one I saw for the first time last week, and I thought, yeah, this was quite a unique film, and I wanted to actually talk about this one on the channel today. And yeah, there'll be a spoiler warning for this discussion. If you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend seeing it first, and then come back to this video, and we can go from there. We can talk about this from the comments, and yeah, hear your opinions on this film. So yeah, with what I said, let's discuss my thoughts on this film, and yeah. Quite a wacky one, this one, and directed by and written by Luc Besson, and it's just a very strange film that I thought was overall quite enjoyable, and so one that, having said that, it kind of didn't live up to its potential because the ideas it kind of goes with and runs with, I guess, throughout the film, and tries to explore, kind of related to the brain and the universe, and I think it is. The way it starts out, I was thinking, oh, this could really be quite something with the way this is kind of going to go, and it turned out to be, in a nutshell, a fairly decent, kind of action sci-fi film that kind of, it has some really good moments, but I think overall it is a bit of an average film, and despite that, I had a good time with this, and it's quite a unique film. I'll give it that, and some interesting ideas, concepts, running with the whole kind of idea of the brain only uses 10% most of the time, and yeah, whether or not anyone believes in that. It's certainly a cool kind of idea, a fun idea to kind of run with in an action film, and it does kind of create these unique set pieces, and yeah, I think at the same time the way in which, for example, Morgan Freeman's character kind of gives these speeches throughout the film, and it at least tries to explore these ideas, I think it is quite interesting, and the kind of balance between these concepts and how it relates to the action later on in the film, and throughout we have the progress of course, Lucy, Scarlett Johansson playing Lucy in a really good performance here, and we have the progress of 20%, 30%, 40%, and so on until the very end of the film, where she reaches kind of 100%, potential of the brain, and yeah, it's very, very strange ending. I think it's quite a wacky film, but it isn't. It's not a film that I took seriously throughout, and it's just some cool ideas, and it gets you thinking, I guess, in relation to the film, the characters, but it does obviously in a strange way as well. Kind of start out being a kind of crime film thriller, and Lucy kind of gets involved obviously by accident in this drug trade, and it kind of goes from there when she gets this medication put into her, of course, for smuggling, and then she kind of absorbs this into her body, and that's when she starts to kind of feel different things, and she kind of gradually throughout the film becomes more and more kind of in tune with her brain, and that is how, of course, we have gradually throughout the film her reaching her maximum potential, the capacity, of course, of her brain, and it's just it's quite a bizarre film at times, and we have some really good action though, and I think at times it kind of peters out in the end because in terms of the action, because it's very different. She is just kind of using her powers, and it's not typical action set pieces, but it is creative. I'll give it that, and I think, for the most part, after the first kind of a couple of scenes, which I wasn't too big on, I thought it was a bit too dark actually, and some of the stuff going on with the drug trade and all this, it was a bit strange, and comparing that to the rest of the film, it is a bit off in the tone, and just a bit too violent perhaps, and a bit too grimy, but other than that, after the first few scenes, and we have the kind of Morgan Freeman speech, a massive speech, and some weird editing as well, I will say that it doesn't work all the time, kind of cut into nature or animals. I get what was being attempted here by Luc Besson, and it's just kind of this it kind of, he tries to create the whole style as well to this, and I think just the idea of cutting for metaphors, I get the point. It was just a bit too kind of overdone at first, but after that and we have the Morgan Freeman speech, and then kind of characters that are interacting throughout the film. Lucy confronting kind of Morgan Freeman's character, and all this, and kind of going through this kind of transformation. I think it was really interesting, and it was engaging, it was investing. I was interested in the characters, caring about some of the characters in this, and overall it was quite charming in places, and just a funny film as well at times. Some good use of comedy here and there, and it does kind of take itself seriously with this whole kind of idea, of the brain using 10%, and it, the way it develops. But it is also a funny film at times, and quite wacky and zany, and I think just a fun film. We have some other decent characters in the film as well, supporting characters. I wasn't really too big on the villain of the film. Choi Min-sik, plays the drug lord of the film, and he is just great actor, of course, Choi Min-sik. But this character is somewhat 2-1 note for me, in the context of this film, and I get, what they were going for, and well, Lucy, of course, is kind of losing her emotions and all this, but she's still trying to, do good with her kind of powers in that sense. I think, all this kind of stuff going on with Morgan Freeman, and I think at the same time we have this kind of one-note villain throughout the film pursuing her. So I get what they were going for, but it just wasn't the most enjoyable, villains for me. And Choi Min-sik, does some really good acting here. It's just it isn't really that pleasant and enjoyable, for me throughout the film. But yeah, other than that, I think the characters are pretty decent, and Lucy herself, the main character in the film, I did really enjoy, and Scarlett Johansson plays this very well. And then she starts to lose her emotions, and things escalate in the film. That kind of requires a bit more of a different character, really. A real transformation here, and I think Scarlett Johansson does play this very well. And Morgan Freeman, shows a real heart to the film as well. Kind of brings this out at the core of it, and I think it just, in the end, we have the kind of last kind of moments of. Really, the whole kind of point is to pass information down. That's the point of cells, and I guess that's what the point of Lucy in this film. And I think that was really cool, and it's a really good line. But I think just the whole kind of final act, I can't help but think this is just a film that could have been more. It really had a lot of potential, consistently throughout the entire narrative. The potential to kind of explore this more in depth, and I just think it could have been, maybe a great film. This one, based on the actual ideas, what was being explored in this film, in a kind of sci-fi way, and I think it just didn't live up to that. And there were some things throughout that I wasn't big on, and it took a while to kind of really get going for me to be fully invested in this film. Having said that, though, there are some really good action, creative moments visually. The editing, after the first, kind of a few sequences, which I wasn't huge on, I think the editing does, show some promise. There is a really nice flow to the film, and just it is well put together, and at times well written, and I just think it doesn't quite live up to its potential, that's for sure for me. But overall, definitely enjoyable action sci-fi film, and it's got some comedic moments, wacky moments, and at the same time, it does kind of explore very interesting concepts. To have these kind of themes at least explored, in this kind of genre, action genre. So yeah, I did enjoy this one, and overall my rating for this is a 69%. So a solid score for me. Just not a great film. It could have been this great action sci-fi film. And it has some really interesting concepts and ideas, and I just think it doesn't live up to that. And I think there are some really good flourishes, moments, aspects of the film, but I think it could have been a lot more, really, and it was kind of a little bit of a letdown, you could say, by the end of this film, and just thought that really could have been explored, more in depth, and it could have been, this, as I say, this great action film, and despite that, it's definitely a unique one that I did enjoy, and it's definitely some really good moments in this. It's directed well at times, and I think the writing in places is very good. There's a lot going on here, of course, a lot of kind of ideas that were told well, I guess, and explained, very simply, in a simple way. Morgan Freeman, of course, is giving the speech. It's very easy to understand, but I think it's just, in that sense, it's a bit basic, at times, and I think it could have been, one that went, further with these ideas, tried to really explore them in a certain way, and I think it just kind of falls a bit, into the kind of, it's an action sci-fi film with a really good concept, but it doesn't really explore it, in the way that it could have done. It's not quite there in the way that I personally would have, expected from the film. But an enjoyable film with some good characters, performances for sure, and visuals, editing that is very impressive, and it's just a very unique film. I did, definitely respond to this one, quite a bit at times, and it was an enjoyable film that I would, I'd say I'd watch it again, at some point, and would want to see, kind of a sequel perhaps to this kind of film, and it was definitely one that I enjoyed overall. So that's my thoughts. What do you think on this film? It'd be great to hear, in the comments, your thoughts, and share your experiences with this film, and what, kind of, for you, how's this, these concepts explored, in this film, and how's it, just simply as an action sci-fi film? It'd be great to hear this in the comments, and more content coming soon as well on the channel. Loads of Christmas content, in December, and different things I'm finishing off, projects, of course, a couple of rankings as well in December, and just loads more content, and I look forward to all of this on the channel. And for now, let's discuss this film in the comments and celebrate cinema. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.